State budget season is in the books and everyone's happy, right? If only life was that simple in Harrisburg. The governor says he will sign the bill Republicans gave him, but does it come at a cost for the Democratic Party? Joining us live this morning via phone is Representative Joanna McClinton. She's the Democratic leader in the House. Representative McClinton, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Matt. So glad to be here.
Yeah. And this is a situation where we were setting this up. We're supposed to do this via Zoom. You ran into some traffic on the way in. The governor has an event at 10 o'clock this morning, so we know you wanted to be on with us visually. I wanted to ask you, though, the governor's expected to sign this budget. He says it's a good budget, his words. Since then, there's been a hang-up on a line to create an election audit bureau. Do you expect him to sign the budget, the full budget, or will he line item parts of it?
So I do expect Governor Wolf to line item a few parts of it, specifically the creation of an election audit. One thing that we know is that in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we have had and continue to have fair and free elections. Very few instances of voter fraud are being prosecuted and handled appropriately. So I do not anticipate the creation of an audit.
You supported the budget. When it came through the House, you voted for it. Why did you?
That's right. I voted for it because it gave historical funding to the poorest school districts in their base funding. So that was a very big priority to House Democrats. We, of course, want every school across the Commonwealth to be fairly funded and not reliant on property taxes. If we could have done that, that would have given everybody around the state a break in property taxes. But that's not something that we were able to get the support around. So as a result, I did vote for the budget because I am in favor of many of the positives that it comes out of it.
Flip side to that, 54 members of your caucus, more than half of the Democratic Party in the House, voted against it. Is the Pennsylvania Democratic Party fractured right now because of this budget?
No, we are not fractured at all.
Then how do you explain 54 people voting against it?
Well, you can explain that because we're not in the majority. If we're in the budget, we're helping small businesses. The majority party, the Republicans, did nothing for small businesses in this budget, and that doesn't sit well with the Democrats. We want to help small businesses. We want to give frontline workers a raise, but that wasn't in this budget, so they did not vote for it.
Do you feel that it is your job as the Democratic leader in the House to represent the best interests of your Philadelphia district, or represent the caucus, which right now, at least half of it wanted something more out of this budget?
Well, the first and priority that will always be is my neighborhood. My neighborhood gives me the opportunity to even be in Harrisburg. So, of course, their priorities are aligned with mine. And my neighbors sitting me here have given my new constituents, my caucus members, the opportunity to be their voice piece. So it's definitely overlapping, and many times we actually find ourselves very aligned with these priorities, all the way from West Philly to, of course, our 89 members from across the Commonwealth.
I want to move on to the election bill, which has made a lot of noise in the Capitol the last few weeks. We imagine the governor will veto it. He said as much. Did the Democratic leadership make an attempt to meet Republicans in the middle on this bill to negotiate something that the governor would sign, or was this a dig your heels in sort of legislation?
Well, unfortunately, the Republican leader nor the chairman of state government tried to work with his counterpart in state government, nor have I heard anything from the leader to work on this bill. So when you are in the majority, for those listening and watching, you're able to determine what bills get called up and what order they're running and how many votes that you have in your own party to pass any piece of legislation. And when you want to do anything bipartisan, before a bill comes out of committee, meetings happen, phone calls happen, Zoom calls happen, but none of that occurred with this voting bill, unfortunately.
The flip side of that is the Republicans in the Senate are pushing forward a bill to make this a ballot initiative. And I'm wondering, in hindsight, should the Democrats have done more to get something signed now that is palatable for both parties rather than risk something being left up to voters?
Well, we trust voters. We've never tried to throw voters' votes out. So if the voters get an opportunity to decide what our election law should be like, that is not a problem for us.
What's next? Because House and Senate won't have sessions scheduled again until September. When you come back later this fall, what does the priority agenda look like for the Democratic caucus this year?
So for us, we want to deal with the missed opportunities in this budget. You mentioned 54 of our members did not vote for it. They did not vote for it because there was not help for, $7 billion in a surplus for frontline workers, for small businesses, for workforce development to stimulate our economy. That was a missed opportunity. So one of the things that we're hoping to do in September is deal with all of these missed opportunities in the budget and make sure that we're doing what other states are doing with rescue plan money. I just looked at Ohio. They created several different ways to support businesses. We've done nothing. That's unacceptable. And this is, mind you, the same caucus that worked to keep every business open as people were dying. Where's the help now? Why put $7 billion in a savings account? Make it make sense, Matt.
The $7 billion, how much of that, we're getting kind of inside baseball into the weeds of the budget, but how much of that is actually going into the budget this year?
So into the budget, it's less than a third of it.
And the rest is going into a rainy day fund for if there is a recession?
That's correct.
Okay. State Representative Joanna McClinton, House Democratic leader, on her way into Harrisburg right now. Glad you made it safely. I know you said you're in Harrisburg currently, so you will be at a event with the governor later today where he's expected to sign most of the state budget, which goes into effect tomorrow. Leader McClinton, thank you for joining us on the Fox 43 Capitol Beat.
Thank you so much, Matt. I'll see you later.
All right.